Ryan Reynolds' wife.
Yes.
She was in one of my favorite movies, The Town. Right?
Okay, I haven't
she was
seen
the,
that one.
Oh,
if I'm not mistaken, Rob, she was the girl, the crackhead, not the crackhead, the heroin, whatever, the druggie that was Ben Affleck's girlfriend, if I'm right.
Okay.
But go ahead.
I'm not exactly sure. Where I know Blake Lively from is through Gossip Girl. That's where she got really famous, as well as Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Yes,
Very
Kelly's
different.
like-
Got you, Amy.
sides
I
of
got
the
Yes.
coin.
you.
I missed
Oh
those
my
ones.
God, Gossip Girl, that's like my childhood. I love that.
Yes.
But so essentially what has happened is just yesterday, her co-star, Justin Baldoni.
Baldoni.
Thank you, Kelly. He has filed a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times over Blake Lively's claims against him, which New York Times then published. Now, this all kind of got stirred up following the release of their film It Ends With Us, which was just released on Netflix. Have any of you guys seen it?
Not at
by
all.
chance? Okay.
Your grandmother was? I still haven't seen The Notebook, and people are always like, what? I'm like, I'm good.
So this is based on a best-selling novel by Colleen Hoover. And despite the fact that this film is about an extremely heavy topic, namely domestic violence, we'll say DV for the remainder of this episode as not to get flagged by anything. But the dramatic events leading up to this lawsuit are like even worse and more dramatic than the actual movie itself. Like it is an absolute mess. And I'll do my best to kind of break it down for you guys here. So we can go ahead and pull up the first asset, please, Kelly. Justin actually sued the New York Times over this article, which was entitled "We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Campaign," which essentially claims that Justin and his PR team crafted a smear campaign against Blake Lively in order to discredit her claims of misconduct and sexual harassment on the set of It Ends With Us. So basically, she accused him of some sexually deviant things. And in response to that, apparently his PR team created this smear campaign.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, some of the things that she alleged that Baldoni did are, number one, he walked in on her breastfeeding during set. Number two, there was an unwanted improvised kissing scene where he bit her lower lip, and it apparently made her feel uncomfortable. And then finally, apparently, he was making some sexual comments towards her. He had mentioned something about his prior porn addiction that he had overcome, something along those lines. When looking into this, it's very clear that much of this evidence relies on like implication, like anecdotal accounts. Yeah, not really anything that's super, super concrete. And this is a tough one because for me, even after researching the topic in depth, it's really hard for me to determine like who's actually in the right here. So I'm definitely interested in hearing your guys' thoughts once we go through everything. But either, you know, again, he's a sexual deviant. That's option number one. Or number two, Lively and the New York Times are actually guilty of libel and slander. And they're attacking Justin for very, very different reasons than what this claim is outlining. So what would those reasons be, you guys may ask?
So, yeah, go ahead. I want to hear this.
So this drama actually starts several months back where Blake Lively faced a lot of criticism during the promotional campaign just before and after the movie was released. Many critics actually called her promotional material tone deaf and insensitive to the film's serious themes of domestic violence and abuse. And they highlighted several concerns. So number one, they said that she maintained a lighthearted and humorous demeanor during promotions, which some felt did not align with the film's heavy nature, being about DV. Product promotion, she used this as an opportunity to promote her new hair care line and drink brand during the press tour, leading to accusations that she was leveraging the film's platform for personal business ventures. And then finally, the floral dress encouragement. She was telling all of the women who were coming to watch the movie that they should dress in floral, which some interpreted as trivializing the seriousness of these issues. And to really highlight the difference and disparity between the way Justin was promoting this film and Blake was promoting this film, let's go ahead and pull up a video, and then we can comment on it a little bit.
Now I have to see the movie.
Behind it. What comes to mind isn't so much about the work that went into it, but about the why behind it. If a lily bloom in real life can sit in this theater and maybe make a different choice for herself than was made for her. Maybe she sees herself on that screen and chooses something different for herself. That's why I made the movie.
What's your childhood dream? To wear Britney Spears' Versace dress.
The one thing you want people to take away from this project, what would you say?
Hope. And that everybody has the ability to end a cycle that they didn't ask for. We can all say it ends with us in our life.
Isn't she great?
Yes.
Loved
What did
her.
you love about her?
I just love that she was just like an amalgamation of contradictions, yet it made perfect sense for her. So she's, you know, she's incredibly strong and self-assured and knows who she is, yet she's vulnerable and she's tender and she gets lost. I love that she was, you know, masculine and feminine. I love that she liked old things and then new shiny things, that she was very utility and practical, but sort of over the top and glamorous in other moments.
This is your night, mister.
No, this isn't my night. This is a night for all the women who we made this movie for.
It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
The question that's always asked is, why did she stay? And that's the wrong question.
Yeah.
What we need to be asking ourselves is, why do men harm?
Yes.
And that was the big thing for me. And what I've learned more and more and more of is, like, you know, these women who experience this every single day, there's real love there. You know, there's...
So very big difference in the way the two of them were promoting it.
Oh yeah,
What do you think?
So much of that seems to the hatred for Blake Lively there seems to be coming from the fact that she seemed like she wasn't as burdened by the subject material. But honestly, think about it in the sense of, this is a movie about domestic violence in which the man is almost assuredly the perpetrator of it in the film.
Yes,
given
Justin.
that little, because I know nothing about it other than what was just described there. The man is the abuser. If you had the guy who played the abuser in a movie about domestic violence in post-Me Too Hollywood come out and talk about anything other than how burdened he was by the subject matter, he'd never work again. He would lose every shred of credibility, every bit of good standing he has in the movie industry. So like, hey, this is your night, mister. No, this is for the women. This is, we just need to, don't ask about, you know, why women stay. Ask about why men abuse. Like, honestly, if it wasn't being assessed in this context, you'd swear like that's like a kind of cucked male feminist response right there. And I get that wanting to have like a very serious perspective on the harms of domestic violence and the abuse of women, like that's a very real subject. But to go after a woman for seeming too happy about advertising a movie, it's like, oh, she used that movie to promote her own Why are celebrities in movies?
Yeah.
Half of the movies we see nowadays are basically a car commercial.
What,
First
Kelly?
of all, show of hands, who actually saw the movie? Okay, there's one. Who read the book?
I haven't read it. Did you
The
read
main
it?
character is a florist, so that's why she's like, wear florals.
Oh,
blah,
see
blah,
that?
blah.
Well, that
And
adds.
second of all, that video was edited funny. And did you not hear her say about how, like, she's a strong woman, and the choice that she makes at the end of the movie, she's proud of that. Why does this is a movie for all women, for them to take a stand, for them to do something different, and like he said, it gives them that choice. She doesn't have to act all depressed and gloomy. I get why Baldoni does.
Well, I get, yeah, because he's Hollywood, of course.
But for her, like, quit shitting on her for being happy.
I agree with you guys. I can see why you have that perspective, but either way, the reaction to this from the court of public opinion was awful. And everybody was coming at Blake Lively
Oh, they're all
about 4
going at
months
her.
ago. They were all coming at her for the manner in which she was promoting the film. So I'm just explaining to you guys why the court of public opinion was so pissed at her. And then simultaneously, what also dropped at the same time was an interview from actually 2016 when she did a promotion for another movie called Cafe Society, where she was portrayed as a total mean girl bitch. Like, she looked so bad in this interview, and this reporter selectively waited until this time when Blake was copying all of this negative publicity to drop the interview. Kelly wants to say something again. What is it?
No, I want to see it. I want to see it.
Okay,
now.
so I think it's I have it as the next video in the queue.
All right, go.
Sorry, it'll restart here.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
She's like, I like your little bump because she's pregnant.
What about my bump? You've got two nice ones.
And these, they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps.
So pause it for 1 second.
Bumps.
So what happened at the start is she says, I love your little bump because Blake is obviously pregnant. And then Blake says back to the reporter who's obviously not pregnant, I like your little bump too. Like all pissed off and offended.
That was bitchy.
We'll just watch like maybe another like 40 seconds of it so you guys can see. You won't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, Kelly. This is a different angle.
You like the movie or
Everyone
digital?
wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love Jesse's
He has some
suits and
beautiful. That's
how
what I'm saying.
he
His wardrobe was
Oh, I
beautiful.
know,
Corey's
everybody.
wardrobe
I
was
know,
gorgeous.
he's
Those
so great.
high-waisted pants.
He's so great.
I wish men
and
wore
sorry
high-waisted
too.
pants like
I know.
that still.
Me
Or
too.
their
interviewers
father
is-
with his
annoying.
tank
They're just
top
ignoring
on.
her.
It's so
Just
good.
like it's just like
Did you
that.
catch
Speaking
the,
over
the
her.
tablecloth on
Well,
the,
the other
on
girl's
the
not even
right
talking,
in
look.
the Italian restaurant when they eat spaghetti?
Like, if I was an interview, she should
her.
just leave.
There's
So
so
they're
much
like-
warmth of
She can't even get a word in.
Yeah, it's not just the women that have
Because
the
she
clothes.
said
Like,
nice
I feel like the
bump.
women
Yeah.
get the conversation,
I like your
but
bump.
it's like
Yeah.
every detail with everybody.
Yeah.
It goes
It
on
was
like this,
amazing
literally
to
for
look
like
at.
another
And
minute
then
or
the
two.
swimsuits.
And so what
Yes.
prompted that response was when the interviewer asked them about the outfits they were wearing, and then Blake got offended, saying, "I wonder if you'd ask the men about the outfits that they were wearing." So these two
Nobody
things.
ever asks men about the outfits.
Yes,
they're
Kelly,
wearing.
go,
That's
go,
the
go,
point.
go.
Okay, so I get it. It is, but like some women don't like to talk about their pregnancy. It don't like, oh my gosh, they're here to promote a movie. So you're asking her about personal stuff, her clothes that she's currently wearing, and that she has a baby bump. Like that's not about their movie or their show or whatever. I get why a lot of actors get offended by that stuff because it's more personal. It's not about the show. Girls especially have to answer that all the time, and guys don't. So I don't blame her for getting
First of
PO'd.
all, you're in Hollywood, so your
True,
business
true,
is
true,
people
true,
have
true,
to
true,
know
true.
everything about you. That's you are signing up. If you're signing up to be a cop, guess what? People are gonna try to shoot and kill you. Like that comes with the business. So if you're famous and you're an actress, everybody wants to know everything because you signed up for it. And if you're pregnant as a mother, she wasn't being a bitch to you. She was actually calling, hey, I like your, like you're pregnant.
I do agree about that.
Now, how do you come back and go, oh,
clothes
you're a
I
fat
get-
bitch? Like, why? I would have been like,
no,
yo.
the clothes I get, the baby bump I didn't, but I'm just saying, it's all personal stuff and not about the show.
Yeah, when you're an actor like that, though, Vinny's right. You like, there's that whole thing of like, basically everything about you is up for questioning. Rob, you remember when you had Sean and Oliver Stone on the podcast the other day?
Yes.
Patrick played that clip of Russell Crowe talking about Gladiator 2. He has nothing to do with this movie. He has not interacted with the Gladiator franchise in like 20 years. And he's like, man, at this point they should start paying me for how much I've had to talk about this movie.
It's so funny.
And it's like, yeah, but you do realize that like you were such an iconic part of the first Gladiator that people have questions about your thoughts on it, even though it has nothing to do with what you're working on now.
Yeah.
So I think some of that is just, it comes with the territory. If you are a female celebrity, your outfits matter to people. Like you look at how women show up at celebrity events, they're always wearing some big elaborate outfit. Every guy's in a suit.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't matter what brand suit. It's a black jacket and tie.
I have a bigger problem with the fact that they're out there promoting a movie that was directed by that creep and pervert Woody Allen. Do you guys know Woody Allen and his history with his alleged, well, it's not even his alleged. He married or he was in a relationship with a woman named Mia Farrow. Mia Farrow adopted a girl named Soon Yi. Woody Allen met Soon Yi at 10 years old. And then as their relationship unfolds, he ends up falling in love with his partner's adopted daughter. Mia Farrow finds nude photos of Soon Yi, her adopted daughter, with her partner in his possession. And then Woody Allen marries Soon Yi, and nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
The guy married a girl that he met at 10 years old that was his partner's adopted daughter. And we're like, well, we're arguing about what clothes look weird.
Oh.
No, we should be arguing about the fact that that pervert is allowed to still make movies and people celebrate.
Where's the applause button?
Great point.
That
And
audio
there-
was crazy. That one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard. That audio.
Oh, the audio of
Ugh.
him on the
Yeah.
phone with her, and she's crying for what he did
Blech.
to her.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Is it her? I don't know. It might
I think
be
it's either the mother or the daughter.
No, it has. It's.
I feel like this is a story we need to bring up again.
Yeah, no, for sure. But okay, so Ambi, here's my thing. What happens to get this whole? How does this thing What's the match that ignites this whole beef between them?
So essentially, things kept culminating. It was getting more and more contentious on social media from the promotional standpoint.
Are they
That
cool on the
interview that was
promotion?
released-
Are
no.
Blake and him
so
not even talking?
everyone was very aware that they were fighting. They had unfollowed each other on social media. A bunch of people had also unfollowed him, and he's the director. The people working on the film.
He directed the movie that he was acting
He
in.
acted and directed, and all of the actors unfollowed him as well. And so there was clearly a lot of infighting between Lively and between Justin. And so they're saying that in response to all of this, he wanted to get ahead of it. This is what Lively's team is alleging. And that he actually hired a PR team that represented Johnny Depp in the Amber Heard trial to paint Lively as this mean girl bitch and to really play up this narrative that was already going around within the court of public opinion.
Is there proof of that?
So kind of. So this is, we're going to go through a couple of text messages. We'll pull up the text message first. So this is Justin's PR agent assuring someone else from his PR team, Miss Abel, we can bury anyone. So she is referring to Blake Lively when she's saying this.
Oh, we can bury anyone.
Exactly. So, number one, though, it isn't him saying this. This is his PR team, and we all know that when it comes to public relations, when it comes to the underbelly of the media world, like, they'll say and do anything crazy, and it's not necessarily reflective of their client or their client's wishes or demands. That just be the best way they see to mitigate the situation. And then the second piece of evidence, and this one actually comes from Justin himself, we can pull this one up, was him sending a text message thread of Hailey Baldwin to this PR person saying we need something like this. Now, this thread is calling out Hailey for being a mean girl bully. So Justin's saying to his PR people, we need something like this, indicating that they want to play out the same scenario for Blake Lively. So at this point, this is the only concrete evidence really showing that he is at fault. However, before this has even gone to trial, before they've even decided on anything, before they've settled, before he's been convicted, there have been very serious repercussions for him. Number one, he actually had an award rescinded. Vital Choices Global Partnership revoked his Voices of Solidarity Award, which was presented to him on December 9, 2004, which is an award to honor men who advocate for women and girls. They took this away. We actually saw Candace Owens post about this, saying, hear me out. What if rather than believing women or men, we waited for more facts and allowed Justin Baldoni to have his day in court before stripping him of his awards? Fair enough.
Well, this is the risk you run anytime you try to engage in the male feminism side of things. Like eventually,
they'll eat you.
Eventually, it will turn on you
this
merely for the crime of being a man.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's important for men to speak up about violence against women and all this stuff, but if you are an award winner for your advocacy on behalf of feminist causes, eventually that award will be stripped from you because you have committed the ultimate sin, which is you have a penis.
Exactly.
It's illegal.
It's not just that his agency representation was terminated. The co-star of his podcast also resigned. And there was a lot of industry backlash as well. So again, kind of reminiscent to the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. He is now filing a counter lawsuit against the New York Times, which I stated at the top of this segment, for $250 million.
Good.
So it's a lot of he said, she said. It's a lot of back and forth. What do you guys think?
Well, I think because what were the first three things? So he apparently
walked in on her breastfeeding.
Which here's my thing: lock the door. How about that, Blake? Lock the door. It wasn't. He kicked down the door and was like, "Yeah, milk." Like, give me it. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he walked in on her. Okay, that's one thing. Number two, what was the second one?
The improvised kissing scene where he bit her lip during a kissing scene.
Okay, was there blood? Was she bleeding?
No. It was just like in a sexual
thing.
way
Okay,
during a sexual scene.
He's in character. Yeah. He's in character. The guy's an abusive. The character's an abusive. Yeah. Whatever the hell it is. Bitch, he's in character. You're lucky he didn't kick down the door while you were breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So that's one. Two was biting her lip, which guess what? I'm sorry. Hey, Blake, you're an actress. Okay? You were a junkie in The Town. All right, with your freaking boyfriend, and you were getting manhandled in that scene by Ben Affleck. Did you report him? Ben Affleck, Kelly, make sure that that's her. She was in The Town as the junkie girlfriend that had a baby, and it wasn't even Ben Affleck.
I never even saw that.
Was she in The Town? Because
you guys have engaged in very different sides of Blake Lively's filmography. Oh, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, XOXO, Gossip Girl, The Town.
The Town. Was Blake Lively in the... Yeah, she was. So that exactly that. So biting lip, walking in while she's breastfeeding.
And then making sexual comments. He apparently had spoken about his prior porn addiction and how he had overcome it around her, which made her uncomfortable.
Oh,
and
shut
I
up.
mean, that's an odd thing to bring
precursor-
up around a female coworker if you're not already on that subject.
Well, who
but,
are they talk? Well, but here's the thing. There's no context. Was it?
Yeah,
did he just walk in a room and go, "Man, I loved porn, but I stopped"? No, it's like there's no So to me, it's all bullshit. It's people that don't like each other. She flipped. The guy's obviously, like you said, a feminist, and he cares about. And again, this is my opinion. He cares about women. Dude, the guy's directing and acting, which is freaking insane. You know what I mean? You're like an action to
Doing both,
yourself.
yeah.
It's not. Trust me, I
And
know
he
this.
commissioned the right to the film. He was passionate about the project and wanted to do it. He's the one who brought Blake on, actually, because Colleen, who wrote the book, was a big fan of Blake Lively.
But the other thing
so
I
he's
know
the one
about
who brought her on.
the other thing I know about male feminists is that they are all creepy perverts. So who's to say where that goes? Because that's entirely possible.
Well,
too.
and then, so Amy, before I go to Rob, what's the latest on it?
So literally just yesterday, Justin launched this lawsuit against the New York Times. So right now it's tit for tat. We really just have to wait it out. I'm sure I'll do a follow-up segment on it maybe in a month when more information comes to light.
Is she suing him at all?
Yeah, so she sued him for the sexual misconduct and for the smear campaign.
How much is she?
I'm not actually, it wasn't in the article. It wasn't
But
in...
she is suing him.
Yeah, she's suing him. And then
undisclosed damages.
Yes, and then his countersuit was against the New York Times and published her suit, and then he sued the New York Times for publishing
Is he
that.
suing her at all?
I think it's just the New York Times, actually.
Okay, well, please,
right.
Amy, because now I feel like TMZ. Well, TMV.
Right, it's interesting.
Does anybody know random?
$250 million lawsuit.
How much?
$250 million lawsuit against the New York Times.
But how much is she suing him for? You don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not sure on that.
Hey, just little trivia for everybody at home and you guys here. Does anybody know what TMZ stands for?
30 Mile Zone.
That's Rob, and that's why Rob is who Rob is, because Rob
Gen
is
Z or Gen X. I'm sorry.
You
guys are Gen X.
Yeah, we are. We're old. So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.